Hello my dear friend, this is Phil again. Welcome back to my channel. So in this episode, I'm going to tell you some great news if you are a bow or crossbow lover. On the current PTS, Bethesda buffed the bow and the crossbow significantly. I mean. How huge it is, I'll show you in this episode. And how do I actually start my episode in Foundation? Because you can find or buy most of your plans for bow and crossbow here. So let me quickly show you how you're gonna get all the mode plans. So we know there are 3 Sunnies, but if you talk to this particular one, he has the bow plan, the compound bow plan, as well as all the modes plans for these 2 bows. And you can also find all the modes for the crossbow as well. The only thing you don't have here is the crossbow plan, which you can easily find in Watago Shopping Plaza with Phoenix vendor, or go to Berkeley Spring Station, get the plan from the vendor over there. You can also find the crossbow plan inside the West Spring from the Free State vendor inside the hole. Alright, after you got all the plans, I crafted 3 weapons, 2 compound bow and 1 crossbow. So in the following video, I'm going to show you how powerful this crossbow and the compound bow is, and compare them to show you which one is even more powerful. And I will tell you which one I will choose for my daily play and why. I'll also compare the Ultra Sight compound bow with the plasma compound bow as well, to give you an idea which one should actually fit your playstyle. And by the end of the video, I'll also compare the damage between the bow and crossbow and the hunting rifle. In the PTS, the hunting rifle is the king of semi-rifles. Bethesda doubled its damage. Okay, here we are back into the old beautiful Westtech. Again, we're gonna have to invite the Super Mutant as our test subject. One thing I want to mention here is the Mutant has been significantly buffed on the PTS. That means in the next patch, when we roll out to the live server, we're gonna see Super Mutant to be really super. To carry out my test, I'll start with the plasma compound bow. So here is the baby. I molded it as Furious, Vital, a lucky hit. In the 4th star, I give it Conductor. In this test, 4th star doesn't really matter. And this is the crazy damage you can see. That's 880 with great range of 300. Because we need to actually stay in VATS with this weapon. And here is all my perk loadouts. Bow before me, they actually give it a new purpose. Now your bow and crossbow ignore 40% armors. That is a big boost for bow and crossbow, and you have 10% chance to stagger the object. The Master Archer also be revised. Now arrow and throw melee, now they actually included throw melee here, have a chance to actually pierce the target, which means if you have 2 targets stand in the same line, you can actually shoot through the first one and hurt the second one. Though I don't think it's a great perk, especially it's 3 points to invest in. The hat trick, again a revised bow perk, allows arrow and throw weapons to bounce towards 3 additional targets, which means it makes the bow and crossbow and throwing weapon just work as the Tesla rifle. It can actually hit 4 targets with 1 shot if they actually stay together. We will see how good it is, but apparently in this instance we do not have a huge number of mobs stay together, but at least we will see a single shot gonna hit 2 targets at least. Faster fighter. I have to tell you, for bow, there's no perk or legendary effect or cam or field effect can actually increase your reload speed. So if you pick up a bow as your main weapon, you will have to stand with the slow reload animation. I have these cards in because later on I will test the crossbow. So thank God crossbow works with all the perk increase the reload time. And number crunchy does work on bow and crossbow. It gives you additional damage. Under intelligence I equipped science. I do not have a lot of intelligence, but science still helps. It increases energy damage on my plasma bow as well as the crossbow with around 50 points of damage. The under agility is all the same as my semi-rifle loadouts for Furious. To be frank, if I'm actually play the game with this deck, I will change one thing. I will remove the Guerrilla Expert, which give me a bit of actual stack as well as a bit of reload speed, because bow doesn't do that at all. I will equip the Adrenaline, which gonna boost my damage significantly after I kill at least one mob. 15 points invested in luck. I do have blooded build with unyielding armor to actually reach critical per other shots on PTS. You cannot rely on purely 33 points in luck. Unfortunately, Bethesda reworked on their critical meter refilling mechanic, so now we will have to rely on at least one piece of the limb break 4-star legendary effect on armor, which apparently is another topic in a later video. So for my legendary perk loadout, all specialties, the only non-special legendary perk is again follow through, because you're gonna stay in stealth. They're gonna maximize the amazing damage from this weapon. Let's start trying. That's a level 100 champion. The ballistic damage is 86 and the energy damage is half of the ballistic one, so the energy part of my damage from my bow gonna cause a lot of damage to this mob. 6,000. That's 6,000 damage on the level 100 silver mutant without a critical. Critical? No, that's not a critical. But I did kill 2 birds with 1 arrow, and the damage is amazing. It's almost 7,000. I just need to do 1 critical hit. Critical 7,000. So non-critical 6,000, critical over 7,000 with this compound bow with plasma mode. Now let's switch to the ultra sights one. So this is the ultra sight one. It's more exactly the same. The only thing is the reload will cause some kind of shock. It's purely for fun. It's nothing for the test. It has even longer range, which means we have higher hitting chance in that. Damage number is almost the same as the plasma one with a tiny bit increase. Level 100. Stay put. 5,500. It's about 500 shorter than the plasma one, which is apparently because the super mutants have higher ballistic resistance. So in this particular case, when you're fighting this particular mob, ultra sight compound bow is not doing as great as the plasma one, and that's one of the purpose that Bethesda is trying to tweak all the mobs inside the game to give them different ballistic and energy resistance. Well, they did the same to the elemental resistance as well. Oh, that's 1 arrow 2 doggy. Sorry about that. So fighting different mobs in the coming patch with different weapon and different weapon modes gonna make a difference. Now let's switch to the Furious Plasma Crossbow. I molded exactly the same as what I did to the bow. The only thing is the 3rd star, I give it a Swift because, as I mentioned earlier, any reload speed buff effect gonna work on this thing, and it's only level 45. but it has even higher damage than the compound bow. So are we gonna see that this baby gonna perform better on the super mutant than the compound bow? We will see. 3,900. Oh, 1 bolt, 2 lives. So we can see clearly the damage from the crossbow is way lower than the compound bow, even though it has a higher Pip-Boy damage number. And why is that? The reason is compound bow have a much higher multiplier for sneaky damage, and that makes the compound bow a much more powerful weapon than the crossbow. A normal damage in sneak attack can give you additional 2,000 damage on the compound bow. However, as I mentioned, crossbow benefits from fast reloading effect. That means you can reload this weapon super fast. And another good thing for the crossbow is you can actually roll it as a quad crossbow weapon. That means you can shoot 4 arrows before you reload. That can make this weapon very handy when you handle a group of mobs, even with the bouncing arrow and the bolts. So for me, I will stay with crossbow for my daily play because this weapon is powerful enough, although it's not as powerful as a compound one. But for the crossbow, it can easily one hit to kill most of the mobs already. You don't actually fight bosses every minute. So if when you want to fight the boss, switch to your compound bow. So for me, I will stay with a crossbow for my daily play and switch to a compound bow when I fight a boss. So what do you think? Let me know your ideas and your options, your choices in the comment down below. We can discuss how we should play the bow and crossbow. Now, as I mentioned here, I want to actually compare these two bows with the hunting rifle, because the hunting rifle has been significantly boosted. It's a furious, vital, and it does come with 25% armor penetration because I'm using a Sting magazine. So the damage number on this weapon is definitely not crazily high as the crossbow and the compound bow, and I need to change my perk load a bit to maximize the damage of this weapon. The only thing you want to change, probably, well, if you don't, it doesn't really matter much, is you put the tank killer on and you put the ground pounder on to reload even faster. Okay, let's see how much damage it can cause. 3,700. That's the sneaky shot from a hunting rifle. So it's not even as good as the crossbow. Another one. Miss. That's 3,500. So very clearly, although this weapon has been buffed significantly, it's still not as good as even the crossbow. And remember, the crossbow sharing very similar fair rates as the hunting rifle because it actually enjoys the reload speed buff just as the hunting rifle does. Alright, that's everything I want to share with you in this episode. Let's have a quick wrap up. Combat bow and crossbow, they are both great in terms of damage per shot, and they actually benefit from the bouncing of arrow and the bolts, which gives us the chance to kill multiple targets with one shot. It's a great feature to actually handle a group of mobs. Compound bow does more damage per shot comparing with the crossbow, but it does not have any reload speed buff that currently work in the game. So I would prefer to use the crossbow in my daily play and switch to a compound one, or probably ultra sight one, to fight the bosses. Both the compound bow and the crossbow is actually better comparing with a hunting rifle in terms of damage per shot. And that makes me wonder, why do I want to use a semi-rifle when crossbow and compound bow is so powerful? Alright, that's everything for today. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you find the information provided in this video is useful. If you do, please give me a thumb up, and you can always subscribe to my channel to support me. But until next time, FO76 out.